Friend from Oregon. Goes fishing a lot. Out camping/fishing one day with a friend of his. Beautiful day, sun is out. The two are standing next to each other on the edge of a stream, lines in the water. Neither is saying a word. Suddenly friend feels a pressure in his ears and everything goes silent. He can see the water the stream moving, but can no longer hear it. Can't hear the wind either, but can see the leaves and grass moving. This persists for a minute maybe, during which my friend feels terror. When it passes, and he can hear again, he turns to friend beside him. They both experience the same thing. Friend from Idaho. He might have been in the Dakotas here. I can't remember. Camping in a woods early morning. Heads out to the river, stands there for a moment surveying the trees on the opposite side. It's fall. Trees are red and yellow and brown. Suddenly friend sees something big stand up on the opposite side of the river, stands on 2 feet. With arms beside it, blends in very well to its environment. Dark reddish fur all over its body, face is hard to make out. Except for the very dark shiny eyes. Friend and thing stare at each other, then the thing retreats silently into the trees like it's walking backwards but moving fluidly. Friend never feels threatened or even scared, but decides to leave the area anyway. I was lying on my mattress when I heard people arguing on the sidewalk where I live. I took my pocket knife and went to observe between the gaps in the sliding gate, but they are just a couple of junky rockers that I often see around here. The girl was in a frenzy, threw herself on the ground, and told the fella to stay away from her. She was screaming that there were strange beings chasing her. The guy kept telling her to shut up, and there was a moment when I thought he was going to hit her, so I got ready to act at any moment. Fortunately, he was too cowardly for that, so after a few minutes, she calmed down, and they left. In the morning of the other day, I was talking to a friend in front of his house, and she was passing by. She came up to me and asked for a lighter. I said I didn't have it. I noticed a little about her, and damn, she was terrible, thin, with a red eye, etc. Obviously she was going to be numb to something, so I said, "Are you okay?" And her response was, "What does it matter to you? You saw me suffer yesterday and did nothing and went away." This left me disoriented for a while. That night it was very dark, and neither she nor the guy looked even once towards the gate where I was peeking. I've got a weird one, but no good personal stories about it. Or nothing worth green texting. But in case anyone finds it interesting, I'll do a quick rundown. Grew up in small country town. Cousins and grandparents all lived in the same town. 2 grandparents' house had one room that we all knew was haunted. Anytime you spent the night there, you'd wake up feeling like a cold hand was touching you. Happened to me a couple of times. After the second time I refused to sleep there anymore. Same with my cousins. They all claimed the same thing happened to them. All of us agreed it felt like a cold hand with long fingers. Weird coincidence. My grandparents both died in that room. Grandpa had a heart attack in there one day. Grandma died in her sleep in there. Nobody is sure why she was sleeping in that room instead of her own, but that's where my parents found her. After Grandma died, we held a wake in the house. A few of us spent the night, and cousins and I decided to sleep in the haunted room together that night. So I have no idea why we did that. LOL. None of us felt the cold hand except one older cousin who said he felt it touching his arm. He's had pains in that arm ever since. That's pretty much it. We sold that house after my grandma died. I moved away. Not sure if the owners have had anything happen to them. I had a friend in middle school who went missing, but the police in our town acted really cagey about it. Small town, don't want to give the name out, but it's basically 2 neighborhoods. One super rich and bougie. The other is dirt poor. Friend was going through a commie phase around the time he went missing. And he showed up outside my window at night and was pecking at it to wake me up. Since my room was on the first floor, he told me how he found something big. And how he was gonna hitchhike to the nearest city and give it to the news. I told him that idea was stupid and he shouldn't go. Next day he didn't show up for school. Next day there was a conference in the gym and they announced he was missing. After that nothing. Not a peep. Not even on the news. What to make of it? Maybe he just got napped by some pedo while he was out on the road, but shit gives me the creeps. Years back, grandma lives alone. She starts using Amazon to order stuff around Christmas time. I warn her to be careful with her deliveries because a lot of people steal them. Casually mention that Amazon will never ask her to sign for stuff. A few days go by and there's a knock at her door. Big dude holding her Amazon package, telling her she needs to sign for it. Grandma tells him to go away and leave her package by the door. The man proceeds to try and kick down the door, shoulder slamming it. Grandma keeps a gun on her, funnily enough. Always has. And retrieves it. Then fires through the door. Guy runs off, drops the package as he bolts. Grandma waits a bit, then brings the package inside and calls the cops. They never find the guy. Package turns out to be a Christmas present for me. After that, Dad insisted grandma come live with us. After that she agrees. Still keeps a gun on her though, and I got a Nintendo Switch. Crazy to think my grandma might have just been killed if I hadn't warned her. She thought you always had to sign for big packages. LOL.
You're a smart fellow.
Saturdays for the boys. You can watch movies with the tribe on depleted uranium drive-in theater Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on Twitch TV.
Mosey on down to the Atomic Shaman Trading Post. We have t-shirts, decals, refrigerator magnets and other swag for sale. What better way to show your support for the show? Our merch can only be found on t.pub/link/Atomic Shaman Trading Post. Like, share and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to ring the notification bell. You can follow us on Twitter at Motel and RV Park. Catch the live streams on Rumble. Listen to text-to-speech stories on Atomic Shaman TTS on YouTube.